Well, it says we're on air. There we go.
I'm just going to stare at the screen. Yep, it says live. Okay.
Well, welcome to Mixed In Google Live Hangouts. We have been sticking to a theme lately, and that is all things indie movie making / short films. And we've been talking with Tony Littleton for, this is what, the fourth Google Hangouts? And
Third.
Third?
Fourth?
Third or fourth.
Yeah,
one of those numbers.
And we're joined again with Tony Littleton, and he's helping us understand today, can you make maybe a little money making your short films?
yes, you can. And 99% of filmmakers do not make money on
That's what I thought.
At least 99%.
Wow.
But there is a path to get paid for your film. It's a path I wish I had have known earlier. When I started out as a filmmaker, I lived in a one-bedroom apartment with a very old raggedy bar, and I struggled to keep my lights on. Now I have a nice.
Sorry, that was my phone.
A nice house in 2 cars, a 3-bedroom, and it's all because of the filmmaking choices I've made. And I would like to share my defeats and triumphs with you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
This would be a great episode.
Yes. I started out like most young filmmakers do. Well, I had a vision and I had a dream, and I have a couple of gigs, and you got the usual, somebody doesn't show up, your main actor drops, people say they're going to be involved and they aren't, money's supposed to be there and it's not, and I failed. And then I tried to help a buddy of mine, and he pumped $25,000 into his film, and he failed.
Oh.
I had another friend drop $15,000 into his film and get his film made, and lost the rights to his film dealing with the shady distributor.
Oh man.
I'll get started on the history of filmmaking. As we know, indie filmmakers, Sundance, and all of that really started going. I think it really got wind around the Blair Witch Project. You know, it showed that you could take, it showed you take a regular camera and some talent and make a decent film. And Blair Witch Project is a story of what you don't want to do as an indie filmmaker. So they made Blair Witch Project. A studio picked them up only if they would make 2 more Blair Witch films,
which they didn't do.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know they made a second one. I don't know if they made a third one though.
Yeah, the studio didn't want a third one because the second one was, The studio promised them that they would be able to make the movies they want, and they could make the Blair Witch Project when they were ready for it. Of course, that's not what happened. It was immediately get in there and churn out the next film as cheaply and as quickly as possible, and it showed. They lost the rights to Blair Witch, and they basically made a force in filmmaking that they can never touch again.
Is it they were dropped because they were pretty angry that they did it so sloppily?
Yes.
Okay.
So
which one are you talking about? The second one or the first one?
The first one was did by them as an independent film, and then picked up and distributed. The second one was did in studio.
Yeah.
And
that's the one they did sloppily?
Yes. Yes. Only because their heart wasn't in it. And that's the most important thing about being a filmmaker, your heart being in the film. But if you get picked up by the wrong distributor, they can force you to do whatever you want, whatever they want with your creation. But I'm saying that, and this is a topic we can get back on later, I'm saying that to emphasize that there was a time where you could make an independent film, take that film to a film festival, have that film picked up by a distributor, and have that movie printed out on DVDs because DVDs were in style. We all know now that the DVD market has crashed. We all know now that Sundance is pretty much a red carpet affair where stars go to show their pet films. So where does that leave the independent? Where does that leave the independent filmmaker?
Yeah.
Online distributing, through your Netflix and your Amazons and your whatnot, and there's a lot of shady distributors that will prey on you on fees for coding, closed captions.
Like with YouTube, I noticed. I mean, I don't do this right now, but I noticed that there's an ability that on my YouTube channel that if I want to, I could make it so that you have to pay a little bit to watch it.
Yes.
So, and I can choose what content goes in there. So, is that kind of what some people are doing with their shorter films? That it's kind of a pay-per-view, or is that like not popular, or is that popular?
There's different tiers of layer of filmmaking, and I don't want to make this really complicated. Your first tier, say you have your YouTube video shorts. The best I've seen those do without having a viral video is about $90 a month, and that's made 1,000 or so views a month. You can make upwards of $90 for those shorts, but the level of competition you're going against and the amount of money you're getting, you're going to be, if you make $90, say you have a Canon T3i, you bought it when I did, you paid $800 for it. If you're making $90 a month on videos, you're not turning a profit, and you're making money, but you're not breaking even, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And
well, it's kind of like going to school, spending, I don't know, how much does it go to college to become a filmmaker? Like, let's say
about
60,000.
60,000 or
about
so.
60,000, right? So you go to college and you spend $60,000 on this grant, only to get a job that pays you $11 an hour.
Yes, if you're lucky, because a lot of times, filmmakers starting out, they'll want you to start out as an intern, and they'll work you as an intern for what, 1 year, 2 years maybe, and after that, there's another whole crop of interns that graduate, and so the jobs are done by people for free, and nobody ever gets hired. That was a big issue on the Late Show for a little while.
Really?
Yes.
So the people that worked for the Late Show were interns?
Yes, for the most part, they were interns. And then after they did their internship, there was another crop of students getting out. So when their internship ended, they would just get replaced by more interns.
Yeah.
Nobody ever got hired.
That's messed up.
Yeah, so if you're making YouTube videos and you're pumping out maybe a video a week, and you're making $90 an hour, you're looking to strike a gold mine in a land that's been pretty much strip mined from left to right. And people do not like watching commercials on YouTube.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I mean, you hate it. I hated it until I realized that these people put a lot of, they put hours into their product, and 10 seconds of watching commercials before I hit next is, they get a couple of pennies, everything works out. But the couple of pennies it's not worth it. If you're doing YouTube videos for the money and you are making those $90 an hour, it's not worth it to you in the long run. You can't support yourself, your business, or your family. And you are a businessman. We're in this to do what we like and make money doing it. I mean,
that's the hope.
that's the hope. So why would you make YouTube videos? Two important reasons. The first reason you're making YouTube videos is because you want to grow your audience. You want to grow your audience. You want to find your audience. And number two, you want to hone your craft. YouTube is film school for people who don't go to film school.
Yeah.
You get your feedback. You watch what you put up. This is why I'm always a fan of putting your first work on YouTube, no matter how bad it is. So when you look back at the year, you see how much you've grown as a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
You see that you are making progress. So,
and it's always sometimes a good laugh, you know. We look like,
oh, it's a great laugh. It humanizes you too to your fan base. You know, I'm only human. I wasn't this masterful guy. And yet, find your fan base is the most important thing, and hone your craft. But let me ask you this: after you've done YouTube videos, and what's the next step? You guys think?
Well, I suppose for me, what I would want is to maybe get it to where a short film can be seen, and what you were talking about, those movie that where your indie movie gets seen by the public, a festival. I would like to move into that, or have make mixed in an actual company where we can employ and you know, kind of pump out movies on a regular basis. That's what I would want.
I would offer you this: after you made enough YouTube videos to where you have your craft down packed, my next step would be to move into a web series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A weekly web series, and I say this.
Put on YouTube, or
yeah, you can put it on YouTube, or you can put it on your website.
Yeah.
See, once you start making your web series, it transitions you off to just YouTube into your own site. And once you have your own site, you can start looking for sponsors.
Oh, so you have to have the website for sponsors?
You don't have to have the web sponsors, but it helps. If I'm a businessman, I'm wanting to have my product shown on a movie web series, like a top drama web series, and I want my line of clothing on there or whatever. Am I going to go to a guy that does YouTube videos? You know, that's fine if you're an effects program artist or whatever like that. Do I want to go to a guy that has his own website, he has his own web series, and he's taking the next step to becoming a legitimate businessman?
Yeah, so it looks more professional in the long run.
It's not that it looks more professional. It just is more professional. Yeah. You're becoming a professional, and that's what we all want to be. You do a web series, and you hope that you get a branded web series. That's really hard to get a branded web series. But a branded web series. That's a web series it's either for brand, like BMW, Kotex. They all spawn web series, and some of those web series have went on to get TV shows, like primetime TV shows. I think maybe one of them's done good, and most of them. But once you get to web series, your craft should be honed good enough to where you can reliably shoot a weekly program that has a plot and camera angles, and basically your crew works. When you take the step from YouTube video to where you shoot and go ahead.
Well, it's like when you get a crew though, because like right now the crew for us is me and Chris, and recently we just got a new member, Jesus.
I'll talk about getting crews when I get to shorts and features.
Yeah.
So basically, once you get to the web series stage, you should start getting noticed. And if you're not getting noticed, you have to go back to the drawing board. See, you don't want to get to the point to where you're blowing money making a film and you're doing something wrong. You didn't catch it, in the YouTube or the free web series or the branded web series stage. So after YouTube video, you take the next step into branded web series.
How do you classify as like an actual web series though? Because we've done shorts to where it's like it's multiple videos that we put into it. Let's take like William's super abilities for one. So we have multiple episodes of those. Would you classify that as a web series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, you want to get out of the YouTube action scene. You want to get away from scenes and get more into plots. Okay. There's a overreaching story arc from one episode to the next.
Yeah.
Reoccurring characters. You started.
What about this one that we're doing now, though, the Outer Zones? Because we've got one episode and we have another one coming up. They're completely different scenarios and stuff like that, though, but we still considered it one thing. Would you consider that a webisode?
Yes, because they're all linked by not the plot or the storyline, but they're linked by the feel of what they are. It's like, Outer Limits, it's, you're getting a storyline that's going to be great and out there and different.
Yeah.
It's going to take you for a lot of twists. It's a show, one day it won't be about, gladiators, and the next day, space pirates.
Yeah.
Unless there's that mystical angle going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question for you too, Tony. You're talking about getting sponsored.
Yeah.
Is that something that you could touch on right now, or do you think that's a whole another episode? But how would you go about getting? How would you go about getting sponsored?
I have a couple of affiliates. I have an affiliate with this guy called Rody Polis. He does a lot of hit film videos for free on YouTube, and he makes a lot of pre-keyed elements. And
Nice.
and basically every time somebody goes through me and he gets a sale, I get 30% of that sale.
Wow.
And yes, and I'm not saying this to flaunt, or direct people to, buy his product through me, but he was very good at what he did, and he puts out a lot of very good free videos, and I was glad to be affiliated with him.
Yeah.
And as you get affiliated with people, you grow your circle, which is the most important. You grow your circle of people and can help you. That's something I'll touch on later. But if you want to get a sponsor, you have to find out what kind of companies would my web series target.
Right.
I mean, who would be interested in showing their product in my web series? It may be a certain camera brand. It may be the audio that you use.
It could be the flavor of your show. Like, let's go with some obvious ones. Like, if you were a runner and you do constant videos about running, maybe you want your sponsor to be tennis shoes.
Exactly. Magazines, online magazines. And look out into the place where you live. Like, I do a lot of radio shows, not on the radio itself, but I do a lot of promos for events and things like that. And afterwards, I talk to the radio guys, and they're like, yeah, mention us this or, link us that. And, we'll give you a little kickback from it. It's never much because, I'm a small fry. But
if you were, if your videos were really getting out there through the website and stuff like that, I mean, if it was just crazy, then it means more money, doesn't it?
Yes, and once you get that first sponsor, and that's why I mentioned, online magazines, small sponsors that may not be able to offer you much, but once you get one sponsor, more sponsors will become interested in your show. And
well, the way I kind of see it too is if, let's say there's a YouTube channel that we've all talked about that we watch, and I think that they say that their show is brought to you by,
that's how you do it.
So they probably either ask them to do it. I mean, the YouTube guys ask them if they would consider the sponsoring, or the guys contacted them and say, you guys have 100,000 subscribers.
Yes.
We would love to put, to sponsor you, so because we know that all those people that are there to watch your video are now going to have to see, our brand on there, and so that it's exposure. So everybody wins.
So how do you think that starts there? Do you think it's usually the person that creates the show contacts the sponsor, or the sponsor contacts?
It's I got some very good information from a successful filmmaker one time, and he says, ask 100 people for help or for sponsorship, and you'll get 80 no's, but you'll get 20 yeses. As a filmmaker, the most important thing you have to learn to do is accept rejection. Your scripts are going to be rejected. actors are going to reject you, locations are going to reject you, sponsors are going to reject you. Wait till you start trying to, raise funds. Oh my goodness, you're going to be rejected. But the good thing about it is there's millions of companies, like literal millions of companies, and as long as you're not begging them for money per se, up front, they'll chip in a little something. They'll help, even if they can't help with money. They'll help by pushing your brand, and that's more important.
Yes, yeah, I feel the same way. It's like if we actually had somebody that would help us publicize our show and whatnot, I would appreciate that more than getting paid right now. Because,
well, let me ask you, how many people have you asked to sponsor your show?
0.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, we haven't asked anybody. We don't know how exactly that works.
Yes.
So
there's 2 ways to do it. I did it the really hard way, and I bought a business plan program. I made a business plan. I showed how my little films I was doing at the time could work, and I only did that because there was this lady in the town where I live at, and she was giving out grants for people who had business plans for small businesses. That business plan has come in handy when I talk to sponsors. And I've been able to do events. I've been able to do marches. I did a little short for some bikers a year ago, about 2 years ago now. And it's all because of that business plan. I made it for something else. The trick is to don't go to a sponsor like a child goes to a parent. Go to a sponsor as an equal partner. We're offering something to you that's valuable. And in return, you can be part of this that's valuable.
Yeah.
And you do that 100 times, not even 100 times. You ask for sponsors from, companies that will, likely give you sponsors, not CBS or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But ask around, and you'll be surprised who's interested, because they see other things successful, and they want to be in on that too. Everybody wants to jump on the online video bandwagon while it's still chuckling along.
Yeah.
Well, it's an opportunity for everyone to win, because you get you've already got the exposure, but now you get some money. They didn't have the exposure. They have to pay a little bit of money to make you happy, but they get exposure that they didn't have before.
Yeah, they reach a whole new market they may have never reached before. Yeah. And they do it for, pennies on the dollar, or just spreading the word of your show around. So everybody wins. The most important thing about sponsoring isn't, the money. The most important thing about sponsoring is the ability to grow your brand, not only with your customers, the people that watch your show, but with businesses that take you legitimately.
I think that's the people that are really making the money right now, is the ones that have the ability to go on to the interweb.
Yes.
And actually just make it flood all over the place, because like last week you gave us advice about to try and get one of our shows to go out more, the Outer Zone, and to find the audience that we need to look for. I tried doing it, and for the life of me, I spent like 2 hours on the internet trying to find communities, websites, and stuff like that to publicize our show on, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find a single one, and I'm just terrible at it.
It's yes, I'm terrible at social media. I had to get back on Twitter because, as it turns out, that's where all the fans are. I thought Twitter was, passé now. I thought it was just all Facebook, and Twitter was just bots. How wrong I was. And I had maybe 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Twitter, and I was like, this Twitter's nonsense. Yeah, I told a lot of bad jokes.
I got like 3.
I think about 20.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my joke that got me.
Hey everybody, follow me and William on Twitter. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
When I joined Twitter, my first joke that got me the most followers were, I said, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, unless you're diabetic. Then Mary Poppins is trying to kill you. And it was just, it was No, but it got retweeted and people loved it, and before I know it, a couple of wrestlers from the WWE, the lower card guys, are retweeting what I said. I'm like, that's terrible.
That's funny. I like it.
I love bad jokes, but doing things like that humanizes you, and drop my mouse, and then something popped up. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know
What happened?
or not. I dropped my mouse.
Oh, no, you're good. We
Telling
still you. We don't see anything else.
Okay. I don't want you to see my phone. Sorry. Anywho, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Twitter. Twitter's the place to be. When I was doing a fantasy web series I'm working on now. I contacted a couple of D&D places, a couple of places. I asked them what kind of fantasy film would they like to see. Would they like to see, how a D&D game works from the bad guy's perspective? What happens if the hero fails? Just spitballing with them and making connections with them, and becoming vocal in their community. And eventually somebody's going to be interested in what you show.
How did you reach out to? Were you using Twitter to do this?
Yes, I was using Twitter to do that at the time. I just typed in, fantasy fan or D&D fans, and when the big groups come up, or somebody who has a lot of followers would come up, I would never pimp my own project. I would just be like, well, how would you feel if somebody made a film about this? They'd be like, oh, that'd be great. I was like, really? Because I was having some ideas about, what kind of fantasy film to make, and I didn't even know people would like it. The fantasy films aren't in since The Hobbit, was what it was.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we totally love to see that. And that leads me into short films and feature films. Say you've done your web series, you've made a couple of connections. It can basically pay for itself. You're probably making as much as you make, with YouTube. You're not raking in money hand over foot. Say you're not one of the lucky web series that rakes in money hand over foot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready to take that next step from web series to short films, a lot of things have to happen. You have to become a professional businessman. And
that's where I'm afraid, because there's so many things that there's so many villains out there to ruin you, that they're looking for you to, oh, he's a new guy, I could,
yes,
they could screw you over just really easy, and you have no clue. So is this where you should probably get a lawyer, or do you talk to your IRS guy, or what?
after you make your web series, let's go back. During when you're making your web series, one of the most important things you should be doing is making connections with other filmmakers in your area, and sound guy, and the editor guy, and a cinematographer. Get some production assistants, to carry your lights around.
That would take away all of our jobs, though.
Yeah, then I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
You're directing, and you're talking to potential sponsors, and you're getting your call sheets ready, you're getting your dailies ready. Basically, like any job, say the military, for instance, after you acquire a certain rank, you're doing paperwork.
I didn't catch that last part.
I said once you start moving up the hierarchy of filmmaking, you're gonna find yourself having to, for instance, pass jobs on to people who they're supposed to do, and you start directing, you start pushing paperwork, you start glad handing and shaking hands.
Yeah.
That does make sense, but it just seems so foreign to us, because we're kind of our own, like, when we want to do something, we look around, it's like, well, I guess it's you and me. Let's figure this out,
Yeah, and that's how it is. When you're a frugal filmmaker, no copyright infringement intended. When you're a frugal filmmaker, you're used to doing everything yourself. You're used to building things yourself. And you're used to making things yourself. When you become a businessman, eventually you're going to have workers. And these people are going to start, because they're just like you, they're starting off. Say, I want to do three episode web series about a foster kid who finds a family. I work the camera, I set the lights up beforehand. I get a PA from the local college, whatever, a friend, who wants to break into the business. And he does the props. So, whatever he does, he's got a dream. That PA's got a dream. And when you take the next step, if he wanted to be the last guy, he wanted to be your capper, he wanted to be your grip, reward people to work for you for free with more than food. Because once people see that you're going places and you can take them places, a lot of filmmakers, and this is going to go into the short film which I have, a lot of filmmakers like getting things free. They like getting work for free. They like paying people.
Yeah. Hey, Tony? Yeah. We're starting to lose your feed a little bit.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, it's like really logging down.
Sounds like one of those cell phone calls that they're traveling through a tunnel.
Yeah.
Let me change my batteries.
Okay. So, hi everybody.
Hey,
technical difficulties.
Tell that joke about that you told me about the sloth.
The sloth joke.
So we'll tell a joke while you're changing your batteries.
Yeah. Okay. So. Now I feel like I'm on the spot. Okay. So, Chris.
Yes.
What did the sloth tell the police after he was robbed by a turtle?
What did the sloth say to the police when he was robbed by the turtle, William?
It all happened so fast.
Ta-da!
Where's my sound effects?
Oh, I don't have
Where's my
one.
sound effects?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, now I'm down to my Zoom.
Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, here we
I
go.
think you just upped your internet speed there.
Yeah.
There we go.
geez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How odd.
Or either that or your processing speed, one of the two.
Yeah, something's going on this old hunk of junk. Anywho, like I was saying before, what was I? Oh, when you become a short filmmaker, you enter the world of professionals. You enter the world of backbiters. You enter the world of people who will rip you off. You enter the world where most filmmakers die. Most people will make their short and then they're done. Like of the 1% that get this far, the web series into the shorts, about 60, 70, 80% of them make one film and then they're done. Well, why is that? That first film burned them out. Why did it burn them out? They were still trying to do what they did when they were doing web series as a professional.
So they tried taking on multiple roles.
Yes.
Instead of actually hiring people that are set to do the specific role. Even though how minute this role may seem, when you have this one person doing this role, you're going to get a lot of more
it frees you up to direct.
Production out of it.
It frees you up to direct, and it frees you up to produce, which is what you're doing, directing and producing. How can I say this? A lot of filmmakers turn into the sleazy shark guy. I know you guys have probably heard of Birdemic guy. Infamous movie. Nobody in that film got paid, besides the director. Not a single person. No actors. Nobody in the city that let him film on their land. Nobody who's any way involved in that movie got a red cent from it.
That sucks.
That's terrible.
Is that after knowing, like, hey, if this goes off, then we'll give you the money after we get done? Or is it kind of like, hey, here's something you can try to get your name out on to say that you've done a project? Were they expecting to get money from it, or were they expecting just to get, okay.
They were expecting to get money from it. But once you get into the world of short films, you get into the world of contracts, which is something I want everybody to start looking into now. Once you start doing contracts, you won't have people flaking on you. And that's one of the #1 things that stops a production in its tracks, people flaking. You never want to use a contract to pull off on somebody, but breaching a contract will ruin careers.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
nobody wants to hire the sound guy that didn't show up. And, you know, there's legal documentation that said he flaked on a paying customer, or, you know, something like that. Once you become that independent filmmaker, you're going to start seeing a lot of ads for film festivals. And 90% of those film festivals exist to literally take your money. You know, there's 12,000, 10,000 film festivals a year. And if you send $35 to each of them, you've blown your whole budget.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not a distributor in sight. Because, you know, distributors don't go to film festivals that much anymore unless you have a name attached to your film. Well, how can an independent filmmaker get a name attached to the film? Well, you need money. And how do you get money? You don't have money because you can't make money. You can't make money because you don't have money. That's when you call on your fan base that you've created over the years. Yeah. That's when you call on your business contacts that you created over the years. And that's when you pool your money together to reach what I like to call the magic mark for short films for independent filmmakers. $5,000, 5,000 American dollars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you and I could do a lot with $5,000 just to make a short film.
I could see that $5,000 going pretty quickly.
Well, a lot of it would be food to pay everybody.
It's not even that. Say you're doing a short film, and you have to have that short film filmed in, I like to say, in under 10 days. Everything complete in under 10 days. Okay. I would cut it shorter to maybe 5 or 3 because you're just shooting a short film 30 minutes, and it's your first actual featurette. The first thing you want to do is you want to get on with SAG. Get yourself a name, a D name list, a Z name list. My professor told me that the best way to get and don't laugh, I know it's going to sound silly, the best way to get your independent short filmed is to hire a porn star.
It's true.
Why would you want to hire a porn star? She comes with her own fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she tweets, you know, there's 500,000 guys just sitting there like, oh, she's going to be in a movie. That's going to be totally awesome. And
but don't tell her that we're hiring you because we think that just because you're a porn star and you can't act.
Yes.
Well, what happens when that fan base watches the movie but they don't see nothing?
Yeah.
It's all clothed. You know, it's
they've been watching her do porn. They're not used. I mean, you know, they're not expecting an Oscar. Or, you know, magical.
Well, not just an Oscar, but they're expecting to see.
You didn't remove anything. You're fully dressed the whole show.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at here is that, and that's a good point. That's what I said as well.
But I follow you on that. It's like, she's going to bring her own fan base, which is awesome.
Which, if you have a decent production with a decent storyline and whatnot, as long as they are enjoyed it at the end of the film, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, exactly. You guys like Stargate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was one of my favorite things to watch.
A lot of those actors came from lower positions. That was an unintended porn.
That was good though.
Yeah. Which one?
I forget which now. It's been so long, and I don't want to call somebody a porn star that is.
Oh, okay. So we'll look that up first.
Commander Shepard.
Didn't I see her from somewhere?
I know that butt.
Wait a minute.
But
Well, now I can tell my wife I've got a new reason to look at porn. I'm looking for actresses.
You're looking for actresses.
That's actually funny because when that show actually started, it started on, I think, Showtime.
Yes.
And it did have nudity in the first episode.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Boobies. They sell.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You want to bring the stars to you. You don't want to go to the porn business unless that's what you want to do.
Not really.
Yeah. Anywho, and that's not a slam on anybody who does do porn. You do a very vital service.
If I happen to end up in that business, I happen to end up in that business.
I mean, we got the equipment to do a really good job of it.
Yeah.
The lights, the cameras, and the green screen.
I can write something up that'd be fantastic.
You'd be surprised how many people get disappointed when I tell them I don't do porn. They're like, "Oh, you make films?" It's like, "Yeah. Why?" He's like, "Do you do porn?" I no. And they're like, "Oh." Do I just look at things or something? Is it take off the top.
Oh, I know a great scene I can have you in.
Yeah. Speaking of having things,
Be a star.
No, but so you've got $5,000 of budget. You've raised it through Kickstarter, your sponsors, family, friends, the $90 you've been saving since YouTube, and you've got your $5,000. You can shoot a film for less than that. But the reason I say $5,000 is you want to start paying. You want to pay people. When you become Oh, am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of wackiness going on. That's what I get for talking about porn. I'm being punished. You want to start paying your crew. Hire yourself a cinematographer and pay him $100 a day. Hire yourself a makeup and prop lady. Pay them $100. Okay. Hire yourself a SAG D-list actor. If you give actors good roles, roles where they can talk a lot, they'll do films for almost spec, which is free, which is something you don't want to do. Pay them $200 a day. And split the rest of it on your crew. When you raise money for a film, and this is just personal me, you want to be a businessman with integrity. Don't use money raised for, I'm not a porn star anymore, the short film, to buy yourself a new camera. Don't use that money to go towards another project than what people invested in, because they invested in your vision. They believe in your vision for this film, and they deserve all that money and effort put into that film.
When you mentioned Kickstarter. When you use Kickstarter, what are the expectations of how the money gets used when you have raised it? When people donate through Kickstarter, because they want to see you get through with you made a proposal that you want to raise this money for our short film project.
Yes.
What are the expectations of everybody who donated money? So I've never.
I think it differs.
I don't know much about it.
Like what you could do. 'Cause I know I've seen some Kickstarters. Like I watched a documentary on 3D printers. The Kickstarter was the people donating the money, but it was basically them buying the 3D printer.
Buying the product.
So
buying your film.
Yeah. So they give you the money, but they expect that 3D printer. So they give you money for the film, but they expect to see that film.
Yes, they're basically they're the new age investors, and they're investing in your film. Yeah. And the good thing about those investors is all they're expecting from you is that film.
Yeah.
Usually
for the money they put towards it. Not here's $25 for you to make that film, but I'm not expecting to give you another $25 to watch it.
Yeah. No. Of course not. Don't.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest. I like to answer your question with a question. Why do you make films?
I just want people to I wanted to see if I can make what I've enjoyed other people do, because I think I understand how to. Well, let's put it. I'll put it to you this way. It's sometimes it works like this. Sometimes I have an idea. William can take that idea and turn it into a story. Okay. Then, with the things that we've bought and some of our experience, we can turn that story from behind the camera. We do it ourselves. And to be
actually
honest,
visualize
I just
it.
find it fun that when I can put it on YouTube, it kind of looks like a short movie or something. It's like, and I
Yes.
just get excited. I just want
You
to
make
share it.
magic.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like my answer for that would have to be start back when I watched Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that movie and he was an archaeologist, and for me it's like, wow, when I grow up I want to be an archaeologist, right? Yeah, it's not quite like the movie, being an archaeologist and whatnot, and you have to be really smart for it.
Totally
And,
the hot chicks, trust me.
yeah. So what I didn't realize back then when I wanted to be an archaeologist, but what I really wanted to be was in that
Yes.
story with him doing all what he's doing. And so for me it's like I want to be there when I make the movie, then when I watch it afterwards, it's kind of like I am experiencing that
What's
story.
going on? Yes.
Yeah.
I'll offer you guys a third point. We as filmmakers do what we do because we like to be genies. Whenever somebody says, I wish they would make this film, or I wish they would make that film, you're the they. You know, the films that Hollywood misses, you know, why don't they do this kind of movie anymore? Why don't they do that kind of movie anymore?
Oh, yeah.
That's where we come. We fulfill wishes. We make people's dreams come true. You know, you put their cares around and watch the movie they've always wanted to watch and nobody made until you came along and made it. We fulfill wishes when it comes to what people want to see.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what I like to stress to filmmakers. We're not here for us. We're here for the audience. Everything we do is to give the audience something that they can like, and hopefully they like it enough to pay for it and not pirate it. Hopefully they like it enough to follow us. Hopefully they like it enough to support us. But
yeah, right.
We're giving them something they want. We have to get out of the mindset as filmmakers that I'm going to make something so awesome that people are going to come to me. Yeah, they're going to flock to my film because it's so superior to Hollywood's, and they're going to come to my film and it's so superior to that, because it's not how it works now.
No, I was going to say, it's not how it works. You could put something on YouTube and it could sit there for years and it'll never get any views. It's like, unless somehow somebody stumbles across it, and then, you know, then something lucky can happen.
You get lucky. You'll see a lot of short films that are technically perfect, so to speak, but they don't connect with you. And why don't they connect with you? Because the filmmaker isn't trying to connect with his audience. He's trying to show his audience how awesome his dream and his technical skills are. He's not bringing the audience to him. He's shoving his view on the audience. Yeah. And you're never going to be successful like that.
That's not the right state of mind.
Oh, you would think it's not the right state of mind, but it happens a lot. It happens so much. And
what we're trying to figure out is how to advertise a little bit, like get more people to know about Mixed In, and that's kind of a tough thing.
At least for us. I know if we had somebody that would help us that is a little bit more
a marketing person.
Well, at least with the internet. I know we've gone through a couple people that are supposed to help us publicize our channel and whatnot, but they don't really do that. It's more of like they're gonna go fishing and they're gonna reel in all these fish, and they just happen to get, oh, there's a big one. I'm gonna take that one and help that one out. Whatever. They're just there.
That is. Yeah, that's one of the shortfalls that a lot of people fall into, and I'm not saying you guys, you know, you're so dumb you fall into it, because we all do it. But in that $5,000, you have to put some money aside for marketing. At the short film level. Before that, you're gonna have to do the hoof work yourself, and it's hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work.
That's what I expected. Is anything with advertising, it's because you're pushing yourself, and on one hand that would probably feel a little awkward, but unless you can pay somebody else to do it. A little bit to okay, you do marketing. I'll give you $100 to market all day.
I'll tell you what happens to a lot of people who reach that level, and you know they get stuck there. You'll see a lot of people, you know, buy my book to learn how to market your film, or buy my book to learn how to, you know, finally kickstart and get the fans you want. And when you look at their credits, they've maybe got 1, 2 if they're lucky, and they've they've maybe lucked up on one. Usually, they haven't even lucked up on one. But a lot of filmmakers start making money by selling dreams to other filmmakers. You'll see that a lot. I'll be researching and I'll look up a page, and the page will be like, well, Mr. Such and Such talks about how he got his short film, to do this in his book that you can buy for $39.99.
Hey, Tony, do you think that if you go to those film festivals and you rub shoulders with a lot of the guys who are all know what's going on, if you go to those every once in a while, do you think that pays off just by kind of knowing who's doing?
You want to know stuff? You want to know a secret? Sundance, and God knows I don't want to pick on Sundance. I love the guys; they've done a lot for the independent film festival series. But a lot of films from Sundance are films that were already successful in other film festivals. Like they'll go to Spain, and they'll go to Cannes, they'll go to the Canadian film festivals, and the festivals that they win there, they say, hey, you guys want to come down to, Sundance and be in Sundance. And then you have your Brad Pitt's pet projects, your Spike Lee's pet projects, and then after the stars are filled up, then you have the maybe got lucky and got a D-list star indie filmmakers, and their tents are way at the back side of the film festivals. I'll tell you about a couple of film festivals I went to, and I don't want to sound anti-film festivals. God knows I love the things, but 90% of it was filmmakers giving their cards to other filmmakers.
Okay, so there's nice some social activities going on, kind of passing cards around, which you wouldn't have had access to. So there's nothing really bad about that.
There's nothing bad about that, but you paid $35 to meet people you could have met online for free, and there's not a distributor in sight. Those 24-hour film campaigns, can you make a movie in 48 hours, yada yada, this, that. You make your short film, and then you bring it in there, and everybody, claps, oh, this is an awesome job. But then nobody picks your film up. And you just wasted 48 hours and, $35, and you've got $5,000. You send your film off to 20 film festivals. You're pretty much in the hole just about.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very profitable, or you didn't really make way.
Well, it sounds like your best option would be to use the multimedia, YouTube. What's that new one? That new
Vimeo.
Vimeo?
Yeah.
Vimeo.
Yeah, Vimeo.
It's the one you actually have to pay for to watch.
Yeah.
Like, well, pay for to have a.
You have to pay to watch. Yeah, you have to.
Even just to have the subscription.
Yeah, you have to pay. It's a great place to meet other professionals, and when I say professionals, I mean like real professionals.
Yeah, not just Joe Schmo putting up a picture of him pooping in the morning time.
I think that you can have Vimeo for a free trial, and I think I did that. It was like a week or something. I didn't do much with it because I wasn't sure that I wanted to invest at the time with what kind of stuff we were making. I probably would consider it now because I think what we're doing is worth watching.
And it's great for connecting. It's a great community to join. Oh God, there's some professionals on there, Hollywood professionals, and they love to help.
Nice.
They love to help you hone your craft.
See, that's the people you need to look for, is the ones that are actually in it for the art of it. It's not just I'm in it to make money. It's like, no, we're in it to actually make a good storyline, have a decent production value of what you're having the director actually direct the talent, make sure we get some good scenes out of it, and the lighting and the cinematography.
You want to have a film that you'll be proud to show across the nation.
Yeah.
You want to film, and there's the steps we're taking are the steps to get you up to that film. So we're at short films now. Your $5,000 short film. You've had your crew. You paid for them. You've raised your money from your fan base that you've grown over time. Hoofing by yourself. You've avoided the pitfalls, and let me tell you, online distribution is a major pitfall. It's a major pitfall. Film festivals can be a major pitfall.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much I like to refer to as the salmon going upstream, and there's so many bears. A lot of times when people make it, it's through sheer luck.
Oh, sure.
It's through sheer luck. And you have your short film made, and then what do you do?
Yeah. Now what do you do?
Now you've got some choices. What would you guys do after you made your short film?
Well, I would try to share it online, I guess, as much as possible. Like, let's say that we subscribe to the Vimeo. Put it all over there on the social media right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, try to build even more fan base with the social media with your new short film. But but we just said going to the film festival, all you're going to do is kind of exchange cards. You're not really going to get anywhere with that. So
I would hire someone to publicize it. And I would think about my next film.
Yeah,
I would kind of like let it free. It's like, go about your life. All right, now what am I going to do?
But never forget your film. Always keep your film active. But after you make your film, that's your calling card. That's your demo reel.
Yeah.
That shows the world that you can run a whole film production from beginning to end without it failing, like so many people do. And
I got a question for you. How short should a short film be when you call it a short film?
You want to know the truth? I've been taught, and I've seen, and I believe in my heart of hearts that people should make features. Get your camera and get your sound, get your lights, get who you can, and make a feature film. Because from what more successful people tell me, only features matter when you're breaking into Hollywood. You would think that would invalidate all we're doing here, but what we're really doing is growing as filmmakers and business professionals. That's what we're doing from the YouTube to the short film level. Is we're becoming professionals. We're learning our craft, and we're learning the business that our craft is associated with. So a short film for me would be 30 minutes. I shoot for the 30-minute mark. Basically a TV episode, a professional TV episode / pilot. When people see your short film for $5,000, it should look the quality of, the first episode of Star Trek.
I agree. If you make a short film, it should be, if you've got the budget, and you got the story that's great enough. That's taking some. That's stepping in some big boots for.
Yeah,
for someone like me, though, it's like, as a writer's point of view, it's like I love the fact of making a feature film. Now, my only problem is I hate it because it ends. Normally, for like most of my stories, when I end them, I want them to end. I don't want it to be a happy ever after when it's like, nope, that guy dies, or this is the rest of his life and that's it. But when you do something like the webisodes and whatnot, that's something that you can continue on.
But you know what? I also find something challenging about the way you haven't seen the two things we just worked on, but I find it challenging that we've made something interesting, and I guarantee the first one. It's called The Cleaner. It's not even going to be 5 minutes, but it's going to keep you glued to that screen because it is definitely a completed thought, but it's a very short scene. But there's not a lot of dialogue. There's not a whole lot of speaking. Kind of like.
Does it have the 3 acts in it? The beginning, the middle, and the end. Does it have the 3?
Yeah, it actually does.
And we obeyed the 360 rule, and we had we're going to do foley sound and all kinds of. So it's like what was cool though is that, like I said, it's very very short, but it's a story that it's an interesting story, and you'll catch. And then Williams directed another one. It's called The Visitor.
Yeah, it's another Outer Zone episode.
Well, y'all didn't spend $5,000 on that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, wait.
William dollars.
We did pizza feed. It's like $20.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go. And feed your cast and crew. When you become a professional, when you get done with your web series, when you put your name on the Internet Movie Database, which is something every filmmaker should do when making that final step, put your name and face out there, so your work is attributed to you, and you're legit. Basically, at that point, you can't burn anybody else, because then that leaves a mark on who you are. You're in the deep pool now. You're swimming with the big fishes now. It's not that expensive. I think it's just $19 a month, and register with the ultra low SAG thing, and you take your steps to become a professional, and you make your short film, and that's your calling card. That's your key to the future. So you have to do the best you can, which is why I say do it for $5,000. That's the bare minimum to get the things you need to make a movie that will be your beginning point, that people will see and say, this may be rough. This may not be with the best equipment, but this kid's got talent.
Yeah.
This kid may be going places. Look what he's wrangled up. Look what he's done. And
Get a 5-minute wrap up.
5-minute wrap up. Sorry, I got too long.
No. What I was gonna say at this point, well, you were gonna say something too, but so at this point that you've like, let's say, from our point of view, we've been on YouTube.
You've been on YouTube.
We've practiced our hand at everything, and got to a point where now we love doing our sketches, and we're not going to stop doing those funny little sketches and stuff like that. But we've dipped our toes in the actual cinema side of things, and now we want to kind of. You're telling us it's possible.
It's possible.
If you really put on the big boots, you can swim with the big boys. You can make some money, but that you sort of have to put on some new hats, so you're going to have to take on some lawyer sides, and kind of try not to get taken by some sharks that are going to take advantage of you. But if you figure all that out, it's not. You can successfully do this, but you really got to be careful, and you have to want it really bad, right? I mean, you can't give up.
Yes.
Okay.
If I did, I don't remember.
So remember, guys on YouTube, this is your first step. Once you make a YouTube video, your next video should be the next step above that. You should always be increasing in quality and not just quantity. And once you're ready to make that step into web series, which I always advise you do, don't become a director that can only do an action scene. Don't become a director that can only do one scene. Become a director that can shoot a feature film that needs to be shot by whoever hires you to shoot it.
Sure. That's kind of one thing that I'm really proud that I like the fact that we call ourselves Mixed In. Because we haven't stuck to one style of anything for very long. Even on our intro on some of our shows, it says a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's all going to be mixed in, because we didn't want to only do one
designate
thing.
us for one thing.
Yes.
So.
And guys, if you can, check out the Outer Zone. It's a web series. These guys may not want to admit it, but
we started something.
Yeah, they started something. It's a web series, and it's good. It started good, and it got better. And I think it can get even better than what it is. And I don't mean it sucks. No, these guys are increasing in quality, and the things they've done with the budget they've had, I would love to see them do a short film with that $5,000 budget.
I think we're gonna have to. That sounds like a challenge. I think we're gonna have to figure this out, William, and try to get our $5,000 and see what we can do.
In the budget. Is it not? How do we get a hold of people? What's this internet thingamajigger? I don't know.
But yeah, once you make your first short, that's the first step on to becoming a profitable filmmaker. And there's a lot of steps to it, but that's for any job. That's for any job. You're not going to start and then make a super huge hit and then just shoot straight up to Hollywood. It's a process, and I hope these steps have helped.
I think that your advice so far is going to, it's taught me that there's a chance, but it's not going to be an easy road.
It's a good chance. It's just not an easy chance.
No.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of dedication.
Dedication, and the most important thing is being a personable person. I think that's how you would say it. Always look to make connections. Always be honest in your dealings. Always pay people if you can. Always give people your honest opinion. Always be honest with people. Do what you can for everybody. Go out of your way for people, and they'll do the same for you in this business. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, when you call in a favor or you need the lights or extra $100 or an extra hand, the people you help out in Hollywood will help you out. The people that you help out in the filmmaking business will help you out.
I think that's good advice for a lot more than just filmmaking. But you know, if you're honest and you help people out and reward them for their hard work, I mean, it will pay off. At least most of them will want to work with you again. Because if you give them a good experience working with you, they're going to want to help. That's what I was kind of hoping too, that we would do some projects and that the people like Jesus, our new guy that joined us, he just loves what we're doing and he just wants to be part of it. So that's great, you know.
Yeah, it helps. I know a guy that's a gaffer, and he was working on a buddy of mine's film, and they didn't have an editor. He says, "Hey, I know a good editor." You know, so instead of having to look for an editor, people start bringing folks in if they know if you're a good guy and you treat your people right and you actually give them money. It doesn't even matter the amount of money you give people. Give them $25. You know, give them, just let them know that you care enough. You care enough to not be the filmmaker that says we're doing this on spec, or maybe if somehow this happens, because you're your own business and your employees want to be paid, and that's what they are. They're your employees. They're working for you on your film, and you want to treat them right.
That's good advice, and we're definitely going to stick to that. So I hope that all you listeners will keep that in mind. That they'll work for you some more if you can pay them. So
I know it's hard because nobody has money.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all the time that we got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Head off.
It's always a pleasure having you on.
Definitely.
What should we
shoot for a plan for next week?
Yeah. What we're going to shoot next week? Or we're going to shoot.
Let's say getting your cast and crew together. Getting ready to make your short film. Say you're at the short film level. That's a whole episode talking about getting your dailies ready, your call sheets ready, your contracts ready.
How about we start something simple? Let's say like the beginning story. Like how should you set up the main thing for it? It's like I think the story. If you can get a really good story together, then you can have a good movie.
Oh yeah, that's another big issue, and I've got a lot of stories to tell about writers too. Me and writers just bump heads.
I love writers. We can talk about story building, trying to get ideas to
and
find
then maybe we could
and whatnot.
Discuss how some of our stories have ever made it to our to where we shot it. Yeah. So. You know, because everybody works a little bit differently, but especially if I don't know, is there a thing like where you pay a writer? Say I'm a company, I've got the camera, I've got the lights, I'm just waiting I'm just waiting for somebody to write something. Is that how that works too? Is that you pay a writer?
That's how it's supposed to work.
Okay. Yeah. So for us, we just do it ourselves.
Yeah. Right? When we watched what was it, Legend? Ridley Scott actually contacted a buddy of his, a writer. It told him basically what he wanted in the story, and the guy wrote it all out.
Yeah. Make sure you get a best friend, and make sure that best friend's a writer.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you, Tony, very much for all the useful information.
Thanks for watching, guys.
All right. Well, so if you want to hang on for a minute, Tony, we'll talk a little bit afterwards. So, but thanks for watching this long, all of you indie makers, indie filmmakers, up to this point. So, take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you.